Welcome to BTS Mains FFs. Disclaimer: this is a complete work of fanfiction. It was trying day, one size, sitting on couch, not more than mine. How so? When asked with a whisper. You know Jungkook, hearing his name, one's heart started thumping in her. Astronauts. He got into again, and he wasn't able to control his extreme anger issues when he once got angry. He let out a sigh, lying his head on couch while something twitched in Wyan. He got hurt. Is he fine? She blubbered what was in her heart without even thinking about it, and then slightly bit her lip in nervousness, hoping she won't got caught. Yeah, a few, not any big damage. He shrugs and one let out a sigh of relief. But then he stared her with narrowed eyes. Your brother also got into, just to save him. You didn't ask me if I'm fine or not. He pouts dramatically while one just rolled her eyes. You're right in front of me, safe and sound. Do we still need to ask? She scoffs in disbelief. At least you can ask. Well, anyways, what else I can expect from a potato like you? Getting up here of her hairs and then leave, making her hair's nest. I'll you with my own hands someday, she yells while gritting her teeth. Can you both try to become mature someday? One mother mumbles from kitchen as she got up and went towards her mother to complain about her brother. One was preparing for a test, which is supposed to hold tomorrow, but her whole attention was on a single person. Jungkook, her secret crush, her brother's badboy best friend, who also bullies her sometimes, which is more like annoy her every possible chance they got. And that act always make her fall head over heels for him. She groans, annoyed of her own thoughts, and pushed back her books. She was not clearly paying attention to her studies because her main part of her brain was occupied with her crush thoughts. One was 20 years old student, and Jungkook was 24 years old and one senior in the same college. One had soft, bubbly, but caring personality, while Jungkook is barber of college with short temper. Can I go to see him? She talked with herself. His house was just 2 houses away from her, so it wasn't that much to do except to get in his house secretly and making sure he's fine. Yes, I definitely am going to see him, one announced with determination as she wore a long hoodie to disguise herself in case if she got caught. She entered silently in his house, and Burgas also let her because she was neighbor, and sometimes goes in his house because her mother was also friends with Jungkook's mother. She was passing through the pathway, and that's when she heard a loud squeal of someone. She flinched badly, and her heart starts beating faster as she just stands there for a few minutes to calm her heartbeat. Being the curious kitten, curiosity took over her, and she accidentally made her way towards the noise in a hushed way. When eyes widened in shock as soon as she entered the basement, and a shiver ran down her spine, making her almost tremble to core. There was standing Jungkook in front, in anger, not looking less like an animal. His whole veins popping out, clearly indicating his rage, and in front of him was covered with, lying almost unconscious on floor, with a lot of all over his, and at same place was showing. A trembling gasp left her before she controlled it, and also awakening the beast who was standing in front of her. As he immediately looked towards her direction and his eyes darkened to see her, then was completely when he murmured. His muscles taut, hands clutched tightly, and she was literally shivering, standing there, her heart swelling up with some unknown emotions. She wanna cry so badly at the moment, but don't know the reason of her tears. Getting some sense, she took a shaky breath, stepped backwards, and just want to run away from here and forever. She was not here to witness something pathetic and disgusting like this. She had never thought something like this from him, not even in her bad dreams. Even though she always know he have a bad boy image and he rarely have friends except her brother and Yang, another friend. The three of them was besties since childhood, and the reason was also both Jin and Yang never leave him alone, and he never admits, but he was only comfortable around them. She tore her gaze away from him. She was scared, and the chilly wind was also freezing her in place. His muscles was loosened a little to see her little clench again more tightly. It's not as you think it is. He tried to reason for God know what reason. A shaky breath left her. All hips shivered slightly, and she involuntarily took a step backwards. His eyes darkened. To move his gaze down towards a man who was he grit his teeth, his eyes darker shade than his original. You're lucky today, but you're not forgiven. So get out of my sight immediately before I lose my again and do something more than this, he growled. The man trembled but immediately got up as fast as he can on his each effort. He left and Jungkook took a dangerous step towards her and her breath in a throat. She had goosebumps all over her, adrenaline high, and she was shivering, standing on her place. I am sorry, she mumbles. When he was just a few steps away, her words stuttered badly, and he grits his teeth, his eyes still and showing the same as before. One please listen, he almost pleaded, moving towards her, but stopped a few steps away from her, already knowing she's of him. By the way, she was panicking and those heavy. Wine, wait, stop, please listen. What you saw was surely not as you think it is. I can explain. Again, Rado took a step towards her while she unwillingly shakes her head as no and took another step backwards, without realizing there's a bull behind her and she'll fell inside. As soon as her feet moved backwards, she lost her balance as her eyes widened and a loud squeak left her mouth, expecting the words, but before she fell in, Bojack reflexes was fast enough as he abruptly held her hand, preventing her from falling. When she didn't feel any change in her surroundings, neither she was shivering in cold water. She hesitantly opened her eyes only to find him, who was still holding her hand the same way. One gulps. Relax, you're fine, he mumbled, his voice and pitch much softer than he used before. His muscles was also relaxed as he made her stand in her feet and she took some deep. I'm sorry, she somehow managed to say. I shall take my life. When wait, she stopped, listening his plea. Can you please listen to me? It was not as it seems, how it actually looks like. His voice almost seems and a hint of vulnerability when Trust turns towards him. I'm sorry, Jungkook. The leer literally slightly shakens me, and I'm not in my right mind to listen to you right now. She murmurs and left immediately without looking back. One was silently crying on her way, and her tears didn't stop till late night. She don't know why was she crying actually. Maybe she have not expect something like this from him, and it hurts her heart. Or maybe her heart really broke, or maybe he have lost her trust before even gaining it, and she didn't realize, or was it something else? She don't know. She tried to tell her heart that they were not even friends, nor she was in any kind of relationship with him. So it won't affect her, but it did. It was hurting her badly to know he have someone like this. That was the only question roaming her mind. Does he do something like this often? A shiver went down her spine, only thinking about it. A week passed, but one was still in same trance. She don't know what was happening with her. She don't even went to college for the first few days, and Jungkook was to explain her. He searched for her in college the next day, only to find she didn't came. Same was in the next 2 days, but when she finally started coming back to college again, she either didn't listen or completely ignore his presence or just change her direction if she saw him coming from front. Only his presence around her would start scaring her. Even he came to her house to explain himself, but one was not ready to listen, and she pretended she was not feeling well and didn't even came out of her room. When can you please take these fruits to Mr. John's house? One was scrolling her phone, stopping mid-sentence as she looked up towards her mother, who have no idea what conflict she's been going through, and gulped hard. Mom, I have important test. Yeah, and my exams are also coming in a few days, so I needed to prepare them. She immediately got up from couch ready to escape as soon as she can. When her mother grits out in Forest Town, making her halt in her place as she knew already Gwen is just making excuses because she don't want to work. It's weekend, my dear daughter, and you can prepare for your test later. It was not requesting but commanding Dawn when bite her lower lip, a slight frown on her forehead, and then she pouts and looked towards clock. Feeling defeated and having no other option, she sighs. Fine, I shall take this to her house, when beamed half-heartedly. He won't be in his house at this time, she assured herself in mind. It's so good to see you after so long, honey. How have you been? She beamed in politest tone with a smile dancing her lips when returned back the smile in the same way. I'm fine, aunt. How have you been? When off only came to Jim's house for the same purpose. She was here today and have a friendly mother-daughter relationship with his mother. Beautiful as always, she chuckles humorously, and one also let out a giggle on her remark. She was not feeling as tense as she was feeling before coming here. Of course, you're pretty as always, one tripped in same enthusiastic and friendly tone. My goodness, but no more than you. A tint of hue crossed one's cheeks as she looks down, slightly in shyness. I shall bring something for you, she murmurs, getting up. No, no, please don't. I won't. I was not about to leave. Anyways, no, no, not at all. All you came here after days wine, and there is no way possible I will let you go like this. You were having lunch with us today. Wayne tried to make her understand, but she was not ready to listen. So, having another option, she accepted her defeat. Mom was silently sitting on couch, so she thought to do her favorite work, scrolling Instagram, to pass her later time. When can you do me a favor, please? One snapped her face towards the direction of Mrs. John and nods. Of course, I'll not. You don't need to ask. Mrs. John smiled solemnly in one instruction. Great then, can you please wake up Jungkook? He's asleep till this long. See, it's already 2 p.m. One smile fades away, and a little line rushed towards mine. Heart suddenly picked up a fast speed. Me? She questions. Mrs. John nods. God, that was the moment I was most scared of. Not now. When I have literally ignored him for more than 2 weeks, she goes, talking to her own self before nodding. Sure, aunt. There is a hint of hesitance in her voice, but of course, the John didn't realize. When took some heavy steps towards Jungkook's room, heart continuously thumping in her ribcage. It was not something new or out of box, nor she was doing this first time, but after what she saw 2 weeks ago, her eye was still sore about the topic, and she can't forget what she saw even she tried so many times. She knocks on the door before entering. She can hear the loud noise of her heart, but she can't help her do anything, as she roams her eyes in her room before taking some cautious step towards him. Jungkook calls him politely, but praying inside her brain that he will wake up on first attempt. She waited for a few minutes, but there was no response. She sighs and took some more steps towards his. She and Jungkook get up. It's already noon. No response. She tried a few times, but he was sleeping as if it's last time. Jungkook, for God's sake, if you didn't open your eyes in the next second, I'm going to throw cold water on you, she warned, being annoyed now. And in the next instant, he opened his eyes, making her shocked and proud of herself internally. Finally, you're awake. Shall I tell the house I shall take my leave and inform aunt that you're awake? She turns to leave, but with a jerk, he pulled her towards him, making her. One was not expecting this action, but out of nowhere, as a gasp left her mouth. So you finally came out of your cave in front of me, he drawled in his morning and more than usual husky voice, and a shiver ran down her spine. Her beating heart, who subsided his pace for a few minutes, picked his pace again. No, God, no, I don't want to talk about it, nor even remember it. Please, no, 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 not now. Please, she was mumbling this mantra continuously in her mind. When were our yellow princess? He murmured hoarsely, taking a straight stand of fear between her ears, as she let out a shaky breath, not believing the name he just gave her. Please don't ignore me, Juan. It is hurting me. His voice contains a hint of vulnerability, and she didn't fail to notice it as she gulped a heavy lump in front before opening her mouth to speak something. Why? That's the only word came up from her. I think you already know. The recent princess, he muttered softly as he grazed her cheeks lightly. I don't think so. I know what's the reason, she stuttered, biting her lower lip in nervousness. You know very well. You're my only calming pill, he whispered huskily, leaving on her neck. Goosebumps erupted her as she sucked in her breath. It was true, Jungkook only listened to Wen, and her presence was mainly enough to calm him if he was angry. I want to explain myself, and you're not ready to listen. Can you please listen to me calmly? She gulped a heavy lump. She was surely not ready to talk about it. I'm leaving, she murmured and tried to leave, but he held her more firmly, and in a swift motion she leaped. Now she was on bed, and he was above her. Olga stopped her mouth as she realized what just happened, and stared at him uttered disbelief and shock. No, princess, you can't leave, he replied in the same monotone as it was nothing, and he didn't care at all. Are you out of your mind, or do you close some of your brain cells? She almost hissed while he just smirks. You need to listen to me, he told her more calmly as she took a breath in an attempt to calm her beating heart and pushed him away as she sat on bed, maintaining a safe distance. Jungkook, I don't want to talk about that what happened that day, and honestly, I'm not blaming anything on you, nor I'm saying that you have did that without any reason. I'm sure you must have any particular reason to do what you did, and honestly, I don't want to blame you. Neither I am judging you by any chance, so just leave the topic. He frowns, listening her words. Are you sure? Because it doesn't seem like that way to me. It is, she replied, and I don't want to talk about it. She again tried to get up and leave, but he pulled her back and this time caged her between him and wall as he held her hand up her head and gave her mad glare. You just have two options, princess. Either listen to me like the good little girl that you are, or else I'll use my ways, and you have to listen to me anyways. There are options, and I'm sure you have a brain to use, so choose and choose wisely. When Grace studied, she was surely at this moment, but didn't say anything, as she just stared him for a few seconds, contemplating what she had to do, and after taking a deep breath and calming her nerves, she finally decided to break the elephant in the room. Fine, tell me what you want to explain. I'm listening calmly, so be quick and tell me everything that you want to tell me, and don't you dare to lie to me, Jungkook. She hissed the last word in warning. She is totally mad at his actions. He grins wildly like an idiot and shakes his head as both-sized as of course not, baby. Why would I lie to you? He rests hurriedly before grinning lightly, but soon it fades away. As his muscles stiffened and his eyes slightly darkened as if suddenly remembering something, and one also almost shuddered on her place, witnessing the sudden change of his demeanor. He was the same man, and he is him with her hand. She was 15 when his voice suddenly dropped a lower pitch, clearly and surely showing he can feel the pain of that. When also felt her eyes start getting. I'm sorry, I didn't know. She almost whispered, suddenly regretting everything she did in the last 2 weeks and blame herself. Why didn't she listen to him that day? He tried to smile, staring in her eyes. It's fine, and you shall not need to be sorry for everything. He tried to smile, but in vain, and stopped her from and shakes her head as no. No, Jungkook, I misjudged you. You don't know what was thinking. I really am sorry. I promise I'll never judge you before listening whole story again. She was trying to hold back herself, but a sob was threatening to leave. It's fine. Anybody in your place will believe what you saw, and you do the same. That wasn't a big thing. He tried to reassure her, but that only increased her guilt. I really am sorry, Jungkook, to misjudge you and not listening you before the sob finally leave her mouth and a tear rolled down her eyes. His eyes softened as he gently cupped her face and wiped her cheeks lightly while grazing her cheeks. The voice is not a big deal, when, but don't ignore me again, baby. I can't live without you. I know you won't able to understand, but it hurts to know the only person you likes is ignoring you as if you don't exist and you don't matter to her at all. He chuckles and straight eared the betray his eyes as well. One can't explain the what which he was feeling at the moment, but she wasn't a kid to not understand the real meaning behind his words. And a line rushed in her body. Cheeks and her heart start beating faster. It won't happen again, I promise. She holds his hand and gently rubbed it to calm him. He looked towards her into his hands and then towards her. That's a big promise, Francis. You don't need to make it. He tried to take his hand back, but she didn't let him. I'm a virgin cook, she murmured with a light smile, making his heart flutter. Before her protect her action, she slightly moved towards him, and sparks of electricity rushed in both of their bodies as his eyes widened one blink, realizing what she did, and her cheeks turned crimson. She was suddenly feeling embarrassed as she immediately away and left as fast as she can before he catch her. Where are you going, Princess? She gulped a lump but didn't move to face up to, embarrassed to face him now. So he grabbed her jaw with his index finger and thumb and forced her to meet his gaze. He smiles internally to witness her flushed cheeks. Don't you think you'll take responsibility for what you did? She gulps a visible lump in throat. It was just a moment. Yeah, nothing else. I'll leave now. He took her towards her, making her breathe. Nuzzled his nose in her well circles. Be my girlfriend, Wine. I never able to encourage myself to say this before today, but I now have feelings for you from a long time. One heart skips a beat. Was she listening that right, or does this was a real a dream, a beautiful dream? Is it a dream? He shakes his head as no, as he smiles softly. It's reality, baby, and I want you in my life with me. Can you hold my hand, please? One face up towards him, who was already staring her deeply, making her more blushy than she was feeling already. I don't know what to say. Can you give me some time? He nods with a grin. Of course, I will, my love. No rush. He reassured her. Well, Gwen was on cloud nine. I shall see you tomorrow in school. Gwen just nods and leaves silently. It's been 2 days since Jingo confessed his feelings and Gwen told him to give her some time. She was preparing for a test when she heard some noises outside her window. Her heart started beating faster in anxiety as she hid behind couch too scared to face thief or invader or whoever it was outside. He swiftly opened the door as he jumped in her room when blinks. Was she really thinking is a thief as she came outside? What are you doing? Are you real or I'm hallucinating? He smirks, taking a step towards her. What the stop? She panics. And what are you doing here? He pulled her closer as he wrapped his arm around her waist. I'm real and really here. Smiles. And I actually came here to get my answers. Today's are more than enough when cheeks turns pink. So desperate to make me your girlfriend, aren't you, Min Jungkook? He snuggled in her as he leafed fiddly all over her, closed involuntarily as she let out a. Don't act like you don't want to be my girlfriend when it's written all over your face. He likes me as much as I do. So say it, please. He added the last word, then looked towards her. She bit her lips. Can I get more time? He glared her and she huffs. Okay, okay, fine. Don't give me this look. Now, here is the problem. I mean, yes, I'll be your girlfriend as my rose his lips. And before she knew, I love you, Wayne. I love you so much, Francis. I promise to always make you happy. She smiles. I'll be too, he said, grins. But get out from here right now before my brother see you here. He bows dramatically and she giggles. It's been 3 months in Wayne and Jungkook was secretly dating mainly because he was none other than her brother best friend and when no, apart from her Their sibling playful banter, Jim and the Australian protective and overpossessive brother, and she don't want them to fight or argue. Because of her other reason was they were neighbors and even their parents were friends as well. Like every second day Jungkook sneaks in one's room, he really can't stay away from her more than a few hours. No matter how many times Ben told him to not sneak into her room. But he always found a lame reason to meet her. Hey, he waves with a grin, entering her room and she rolls her eyes. Just me 2 hours ago, he was beyond addicted to her. She gave him a mad glare as he walked towards her. You know everyone is home. We will surely get caught red-handed if you kept doing these kind of things. She groans as she pulled her towards him by pulling her from waist and take her in. The girl was slow, her all senses are soon taken to. When do you see much harder? He asked, peeking from door as his eyes widened to witness the scene in front of him. What the? He growls when eyes widened. Ash immediately pushed Jungkook away, making him stumble on floor, and went towards Jin to stop him. Jungkook. Wait, Oppa, I can explain. Jin grits his teeth as he straight went towards Jungkook and grabbed him from collars and on face. When eyes widened, Ash immediately stand in front of her boyfriend as she shield and her brother's eyes more dark. We're dating, and it's been more than 3 months now. He's my boyfriend, she muttered with closed eyes. When she found no more movement in her surroundings, so she slowly opened her eyes, only to see Jin raging in anger. What the? I love her. Jin comes in front of her as he wraps his arm around one's waist, pulling her closer towards him. Jin's eyes burned in anger. We need to talk. Come out. Jin nods. When also start walking, but Jin stopped her. Not you. Just both of us. Alone, he added. But when tried to speak, but Jin glared at her, making her shut her mouth. Jin squeezed her hand and blinks, reassuring Gwen, and went outside with him. 30 minutes passed, and Gwen was pacing back and forth in nervousness. Room door finally opens and Jin walks in while grinning, and behind him, Jin. Both of them had many on their face. What you guys have done to each other? She almost panics, looking towards their face in worry. Relax, baby. We're fine and good, right, brother-in-law? Jin snorts but nods. One looks between both of them with puzzled expressions. What just happened? Nothing. We just talk, and he don't have any problem with our relation, right, brother-in-law? He grins, putting his arm on Jin's shoulder, who repeat his action and nods. Of course, yes, brother-in-law. When just stared between them dumbfounded. What did they talk about? But anyways, that was not her concern. They make up and she was happy about it. Okay, so we're good now. Both nods and cynic and she smiles. I'll break your old bones if I ever see her crying because of you, he wants, and Jimmy rolls his eyes, nodding. Of course, he added, with a soft smile. Thanks for watching, everyone.